Okay, well, let's jump right into it. So, Cody, welcome to the podcast today. Thanks for coming on. I'm excited to get into a little bit about what you're up to in your life.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, tell me a little bit about what you're getting into on the real estate side. And if you want to talk about your seafood operation as well, we can go into that.
Basically, we built a seafood business over the last 18 years now, something like that. And I sold my company to another company called Alaska Seafoods. And then I actually bought that company after becoming the president there. And we scaled that up to an international seafood company. We're operating in like 13 or selling in like 13 countries, exporting all over the world. We do live seafood. We like robotically process Dungeness crabs, which is pretty wild.
Oh,
We
wow.
humane kill them, cryogenically freeze them. Here in Olympia, we turn I think there's like 140 land parcels between 10 different farming companies for geoduck that we turn their crops into cash for them and export their products all around the world. So we're really active in that part of what's going on in Olympia.
Wow.
We also have a caviar company that we bought that we make salmon egg caviar. We buy the salmon eggs from all the fishermen all around the Puget Sound, Washington, and Oregon. We ship that all over the world as well. So that business kind of grew up, and then Trump came to town, and everything got crazy in the trade war, and we're looking for diversification. And I've been on the side doing real estate just like as a project with a buddy of mine, Justin Jelm, who's a local agent in Olympia. And I've made more millions messing around on the side in real estate. And then my seafood company started kind of investing into real estate as well. And we started buying some commercial assets and things like that, just as like a strategy to diversify for our shareholders. And my team owns the company with me, which is kind of unique. And so, my executives own a piece of what they do every day.
That's amazing.
And maybe they're not always investing, in their personal assets the way that I would like them to. So I kind of like forced this upon them. And I was like, hey, I want you guys all to go to real estate school. And so there's this other podcast called Bigger Pockets.
Hmm.
So I reached out to Brandon Turner's team, who's one of the founders of Bigger Pockets. And I made like a weird offer. He has a class. And I said, I want your team to teach my team, but like not through the class, like just them to us.
Okay.
And so we did this kind of like program with them where they were like, that's weird. We've never been asked that before. I said, why not try it out? And they said, okay. And so Brandon Turner and his team taught my team real estate. And so we started class with them. And on the first day, which was not how it normally goes, they bought a piece of real estate.
Oh, wow.
So we moved pretty quick. So we kind of launched this thing 9 months ago. And our goal was to get to $10 million in real estate by the end of year one. We're already at 17.5 million in 9 months. And by the end of this week, I think we'll be over 20. And so we're kind of taking that scaling approach that we've learned over the years of building this $50 million seafood business and trying to take that to seafood in a very, very fast way. Or
Wow.
sorry, into real
To real
estate.
estate. Yeah.
In a very, very quick way. So that's what
So
we're up
you've
to.
got experience scaling, you have some experience with real estate, and now you're mixing those together to kind of pour gas on the fire, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly. And like when I was a kid, like I started construction trade school when I was 14 years old in the summer times between middle school and high school and did that. And then I started studying, architecture, and that's what I was going to go to college for. And I started college really young. I was 15 years old, was in a
Oh,
lot of
wow.
trouble, and like going to college was like one of the ways I thought of getting out of the
Okay.
trouble I was in.
Yeah.
And so I started running Start when I was 15, and then I started architecture classes and things like that. And
So you were just one of these kids that was maybe a little smart and you needed more challenge than you were given.
I need a lot more structure,
More
right?
strong.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, my child was pretty wild and not so stable, and yeah, so I just that
But it's
structure.
interesting to me. There's two things I've picked up on from us already talking for just 5 minutes so far. Within your seafood company, you said you poured some resources into actually the fishermen to make sure that that was something no one else had ever done. And then with your own team in the real estate, you're getting them trained. Also, unconventional method of how you're going about doing that. So w- this is two things within 5 minutes that it's already like, oh, you're doing things differently than somebody else. Obviously, you have different results than other people. Can you speak to your mindset, how you're able to see some of these avenues of like, oh, this idea would work and this is going to give me a leg up? Because both those things that you've done have been maybe like, I don't want to say unfair advantages, but maybe they gave you that boost to get you to the,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like, I tend to see the world different than most people. As I've gotten older, I kind of shied away from that when I was younger. And as I've gotten older and more successful, or maybe made more mistakes and learned from them, I've really learned to like lean into like understanding who I am, and accepting that I might just be a little bit different than some folks in the way I see things. And so most people tend to like get locked in a box. And I'm like the opposite. I don't want to be in a box. I don't want anybody to put me in a box. I'll yell at bankers, I'll be kind to bankers. Like kind of be very pushy to get what I want. And, in the way that I see it. And sometimes that can create challenges for my businesses, but sometimes it creates opportunities. So I found a banker that works really well with me. He's from Olympia actually, and so that's really nice. We have a really good relationship. Last time I was in this building, I was actually here with him,
Okay,
where
cool.
we're sitting today for a little event for him, and we kind of lean into being outside the box. We don't want to be in the box. And we're kind of like a band of misfits, my group. Like, I wouldn't say anybody's a misfit, but we're not a normal executive team. We're all young and different. And there's not like one, you know, ethos of person on my team. We're all very different.
So I think it's really hard, like maybe asked you a silly question there. It's kind of hard to explain why your brain is different from someone else's or how you think, because right, you only know your own experience. I guess a better question, how do you learn to trust yourself on the ideas that you like, oh, I had an idea, I'm gonna do it, versus, oh, should I overthink this? Is this really a good idea? Is it not? Like, how are you able to trust your ideas when they come up versus doubting yourself? That's maybe more of a key question.
I was always tended to make decisions really, really quickly, and so at a young age, that's what really got me in trouble, right? It's like that ability to make a decision is impulsive, right? And so learning as you get older from experience of making mistakes, being impulsive allows you to be impulsive without so many mistakes. And so, I've lost $1 million in a day before. The first house that we did on this journey, we lost money on. But we lean into those mistakes and we seek them. So we try to fail really quickly. And so I've learned over the years, like the faster I fail, the most successful people are people that know how to fail, how to deal with failure, how to accept failure and bring it into a part of the success process. And that came from really seeking out a lot of mentorship. Like, I'm ruthless on finding people that are better than me and then like trying to get as much time as them. And so, like, for example, Dominic Prinzavali works for me. He was previously the global head of operations for Amazon. Like, why is this guy working for me at a $50 million seafood company? It's like he was in a group with me. I was just demanding all of his time. And he was like, I'm like basically like advising you for free. Like, what's going on here? I was like, yeah, I mean, you're here, you know more than me. You helped build Amazon. He built 800 of their 1,200 facilities. Like, why would I not want all his time
Of course.
to learn from him? And then one day he called me. I was like, I just want to work for you, And I was like, that's crazy. Like, what are you talking? I can't afford you. And he's like, it's called stock options. I was like, I don't want to do that either. And he could be persuasive, And so
Okay.
here he is working for me, and we're co-founding another business right now.
So as you level up, then you run into people that are going to challenge the ways you think about things. And then hey, maybe you didn't think about options before. Now you're thinking about
Yeah,
options.
and I want that. Like, I don't want people around me that are just gonna say yes to everything, right? Like, they got to have a brain and they got to have their
Sure.
own ideas. And I want that because I don't know everything. I know a lot for my age, and I've been through a lot, but I don't know everything. And the only way I'm gonna get there faster is to grab that knowledge from them, steal it, and put it in my brain, right?
Yeah.
Or
That's the one.
borrow it or learn it or however you want to call it. But
And the other thing I've learned late and a lot like from video, it's like just do it. And if it's not that great, you will learn from that. And then the next one will be
yeah,
better. But it's almost
exactly.
like you learn so much more from doing something than from reading about how to do it.
Yeah,
So read how to do it so that you have an idea like, oh, the thing goes here and this is how you turn it on.
yeah,
But then go put it there and turn it on and see what happens.
yeah,
And then oh, I'm only supposed to turn it on halfway. Now I know for next time. Then your next one looks great. And so I would always overthink like, oh, my lighting, it seems like it doesn't quite look right, or something's not quite right. And so it would prevent me from doing and executing. Or I would get like half a video and wouldn't produce it. And the rate of improvement
yeah,
is it's just ridiculous how much more it is. So you shoot yourself in the foot by overthinking things
yeah,
and by doubting yourself. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there is selective doubt should be good, right? Like, don't just do whatever the heck you're thinking of. But you do need to trust yourself and you need to iterate on things so that you can have a chance of seeing where the
Yeah, definitely.
where the leaks are.
That makes a lot of sense. Like, trusting yourself is not always easy, but it's necessary. It's like at the end of the day, you have you, right? Like anything in your whole life could change, right? Anything but you, like
Right.
could change,
Yeah.
right? You may not want it to, or you may want it to, but the only thing that ultimately you're left with is yourself. So figuring out like just how to be like, this is who I am. That for me, that was like the hardest thing. The last like 5 years of my life was really like understanding myself, understanding, the things that built me to be who I was, good and bad, because some of those bad things I wanted to go away.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how to change them was like, you can do this, right? Like you can trust yourself to change these things. It's no different in business. It's like you can do it. Other people are doing it.
Right.
Do you trust yourself to actually do the work?
Well, and also, like, are you going to challenge yourself in your thought process of like, oh, hey, tonight at 10 p.m., I'm going to sit down and review my day, and then I'm going to figure out what I'm doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
Or are you just going to watch Netflix, go to bed, and wake up and be like, hey, what am I doing today?
Yeah.
Because I've been both, right? Like, in mortgage, you can have flexible hours and odd schedules, and you can work really hard and push it, or you can kind of coast and say, hey, I'm doing okay. I'm going to relax today. And so, if you're proactive, it's just amazing how much better quality of life you have saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. And it's just for me personally, I'll speak for myself. If I don't remind myself who I want to be, I don't make the right choice. Like 50-50. I'll be a nice guy sometimes. Sometimes I'll be grumpy for no reason. But if I, do my little mantra, like, okay, today you're going to be a nice guy, and it's effortless. So it's really weird how like that relationship that you have with yourself, can you talk to yourself? Can you remind yourself to do the right thing? And
Yeah.
maybe for other people, like maybe you can speak to this. Do you just wake up with a clarity and you go and execute, or do you have to talk yourself through things as well?
I think like when I was younger, when I was trying to like figure out like what was this thing I was doing is like, chasing all these dreams and building all these businesses and just really like trying to stuff something inside myself that wasn't maybe well understood. But I've like since I was a little kid, I always wanted more. Like I look around the world and I want to create things and see things and make stuff happen. It's like whether that was healthy or unhealthy wasn't really learned until like later in life for me. But I wake up ready to go every day. Like I'm gas pedal all day, every day. Like I don't need to talk myself into that part of it. What I need to talk myself into is more like see the vision. I have that. That's natural for me. It's like see it through, finish it,
Okay.
right? Put it to bed. And so one of the things I really learned throughout years is like I can't do that alone. So I'm a team guy. I have a team. I need to have my team because they cover my weaknesses, which is finishing it, right? And so if I know I can count on people to finish it that may not have the vision to see it or to start it, then we make good teammates. And so like me and Solomon, my right hand guys, like read this book from Gino Wickman, and it's called Rocket Fuel, right? And it's like we both read it, got really angry and frustrated, and a business coach told us to read it, and he reads it because it's telling him like you're an integrator, not a visionary, and which means you're not a CEO, you're a COO, and I'm a CEO, and he's a COO. And then I'm reading it, and it's like, well, you can't integrate, like, and you're just a CEO with a vision, and you can't have shit without getting through the actual execution. And so like coming to terms with that wasn't easy for both of us, right? But we really realized, why are we such a good team? It's like he can integrate all these crazy ideas in my fucking head and make them happen,
Yeah.
right? But I can have the crazy ideas and see them to where they could happen. And so
that makes me feel good to hear, but also challenges me in a way because I feel that like I resonate with the idea part and the execution part. Like I'm an idea guy.
Yeah.
I've always made these amazing plans, and any of my mentors are like, "Oh, you're about to crush it," and then they're like, "Your plan is beautiful, right?" And then, oh, I always struggle in the execution phase because I'm always excited about new stuff.
Yeah.
And like, oh, what's that? What's that? What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I could be a firefighter. I could be a policeman. I can be an airplane, like, for a bad example.
Yeah.
And I thought they were all options.
Yeah.
And so what I wanted to do would always change. And so this is like, that's why I went into finance, because I figured if you can do the money, then you can do anything, right? Like I could work for Malibu Boats, which is what I wanted to do, but I wasn't a good enough skier to get sponsored. I said, oh, I'll manage their books, right? Like this was my way in, was through the money, I figured. But I still suffer from that distractibility a little bit of like, oh, all these different things are cool.
Yeah.
And luckily I've stuck with mortgage long enough to where I have something that I've built a skill set and a small business there. But yeah, it is kind of hard sometimes to keep your eye on the prize. And I think that's going to be individual, right? Depending on the personality.
Yeah, yeah. So I struggle with that big time. It's like I call it shiny object syndrome. It's like I actually just sold a group of companies over the last year, and it's like I got like tangled out and too distracted doing too many things. So it's like I have a restaurant, and then I've got Point Properties with Justin, and then I have Last Guys Properties with my seafood guys, and then I have a different property coming by myself, and then I've got Airbnbs, and I'm doing new construction. Then I did a development, and then I'm going to buy another seafood company, and then I'm going to build a sales arm in Hong Kong. It's like I had 13 companies,
Wow.
and it was like this is fucking insane and not manageable. And I got to the point where it's like, am I really enjoying this? Like I know I can make them all work. They're all making money. Everything's working, but is this actually the best that we can be? And it was a difficult decision, and so I started selling things, because like I did some, like, I don't know what you call that, like looking in or like taking stock in what I was doing, and realized that I really needed to like do more of what I'm best at and less of what I'm not, and that was going to move the needle better for not just me but whoever I'm working with. And so I just started selling stuff, which was really brutal to sell things you spent years and years of your life building, or ending relationships, or maybe turning them into new versions of those relationships because they're ending, right? It's like
Right.
me and Justin been investing together for 19 years, right? Like it's scary to go out, do a real estate investment without him,
Yeah.
right? But I know that the way that I want to do it isn't the way that he wants to do it
Sure.
at this stage of life. And I
Yeah.
want to scale, and he wants to, have passive income. And it's like, they're not the same thing.
There's different,
And
yeah, you come to a point where there's
yeah,
different options that you guys can take and you may choose different
yeah,
ones.
yeah. And so,
Yeah.
and that's okay. But it takes time to get okay with being okay with that. Right.
Right.
And so I sold my restaurant to him actually,
Okay.
and to the manager that's across the street
Congratulations.
from here. Yeah. Thank you. And yeah, so we're just kind of like, for me, seafood and like real estate where I get to create it is what's most important to me. Right. Is these two things. And that's what I'm the best at. And so I'm really focusing on just these two things with one essential team. Right.
For now.
Yeah.
So do you think 5 years from now you're going to be like, oh, this is cruising. Maybe I can add another arm, or I can refocus somewhere
Oh, I
else.
always be trying to add another arm.
Yeah.
Like it's just who I am. Like it's hard to tell yourself no, especially the further I get and the more resources I have. I can tell myself yes more often. It's hard to tell yourself no, but it's necessary. It's like,
So then answer me this: you guys have a business coach. How do you pick a business coach? If how would you make a decision on judging that person when a coach was supposed to be coaching you? But you got to make a judgment on which coach is good enough to coach me.
yeah. So when I was interviewing the business coaches, I was like, I really need somebody that can, like, one, stand up to me because I'm a very big personality. So I'm like quite quiet in public, but extremely not in private. So I'm like biggest personality in the room in private, but don't tend to like to be on stage and things like that. So this is a new experience for me.
Sure.
But I need somebody that can handle that and push back, and
Okay.
like literally know when to tell me when to shut the fuck up. Like
Yeah.
that's important because I get going and I get ahead of myself, and I need that. And so when I was interviewing all these people, there was like one person that was like, she was just like, you know, kind of like a rock in who she was. And I was
Hmm.
like, all right, that's not gonna be fun, but it's gonna work.
Right.
Right. So I picked her, and we did that, and we rolled through with my whole team, and we changed a bunch of stuff in our business for the
Wow.
better.
So it sounds like a lot of awareness that you're trying to not necessarily force, but just like build into your life through coaching, through like making sure that you're aligned on your own plan, and then
Yeah.
just like going forward with it every day and not really not really looking back too much.
Yeah. No,
It doesn't sound
like,
like you're second guessing yourself too much or overthinking that hard. It's kind of like get the plan, flush it out, and then
yeah.
go.
I would say like I was going through the second guessing part the last 2 years, and 9 months ago I launched a new plan. It was like I went deep into the analysis of like I was turning 40, and I was like, what do I want? And and I now have a child, and like, what do I want this next 20 years of my life to look like? Like I spent the last 20 years of my life just scrambling to get somewhere, to build something, to work harder than the person on my right or my left, and just like make sure I was outworking everyone. And then the last 10 years, it was like, can I get smart about how I'm doing this? And I really want this next 20 years to be like doing what I want to do. and the way I want to do it and the way that I see it and the way that I want it to mold into a lifestyle that I want to live. And that just required, change and all these other things. It was like I didn't know how to do those things. So I had to go figure it out.
And so now that you've done some figuring,
Yeah.
I guess, for lack of a more eloquent question here, do you feel like this is a skill you can take for like, okay, I've been through multiple iterations, I've been through some self analysis. Now, as these things go forward, you're going to have the skill to keep continually developing because it's not a static thing, right? Like you're not going to go 10 years doing what you're doing now, right? You're going to go a couple years and then you're going to add something, change something, sell something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually like we're only 9 months into this 12-month real estate launch and the 12 months class, right? So they're still like have class every week, the team. And we're outperforming the teachers that are teaching us, like from their first years and first, even some of them even the first 10 years, right? And so we kind of look at that and say, like, what was next? Like, we don't want to wait. The world is for seizing and for taking, right? And so, for at least in our mindset, it's like it's abundant. Let's go get it. Everyone can have some. Why can't my employees be millionaires too? But it's not going to happen in the industry we were in, and so we go for it. So we actually just sent them to another class the same way around, and we're going after full AI with our team right now. So we're all in AI class as well. So we have real estate and AI class every single week, and we're launching AI agents. So we're creating literally digital clones of my employees right now. So each one of them is learning how to make a clone of themselves to do their work.
So initially, this podcast was going to be for you to talk about properties and like, hey, if anybody has something to sell, but it almost sounds like that's a wasted opportunity from podcasting world. And you have more of a big brain, let's call, oh, this is the guy was saying this earlier, so now I'm stuck on that phrase, but you have like a higher level of awareness and maybe a way of tapping into that. That seems like that's something that you could maybe talk about more, which would be beneficial to people like me and other people who want to watch more of a traditional podcast of like, okay, you're at an elite level. You're a chill guy. You're not like a manic maniac guy running like, oh, you're not being a jerk. And so I would say you have a good structure for yourself. And that's something that I think a lot of people would like to learn more about.
It wasn't
And
always that way though. I was a pretty chaotic person in general. And each year of life, I tend to get more calm, which is interesting. But, and being more comfortable with it. It's like I am a person that thrives in chaos, right? Like that's just where I need to be. So learning how to make my chaos, not others, is really what the awareness is about. It's like somebody told me something like 3 years ago. It stuck with me. And it was like, all your great ideas just sound like more work to your employees. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, that hit me, and I was like, how do I make my great ideas either an opportunity worth that extra work to them, or how do I come up with new ideas that make their work less work? And then AI luckily was born over the last few years as I'm on this journey trying to figure out how to make their lives easier. Whether it's through software or training or teaching or education or whatever. And I don't have those skills to give them. So I'm going to go get them from somewhere.
because most people are thinking, I got this great idea, and they're not remembering that somebody else has to execute their idea.
Yeah.
And those other people are like, oh, really? We got to build a 10-foot tall thing?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, it's just like really, really like for me, it's like the awareness really comes from like accepting the fact you cannot do it on your own. Yeah. Like nobody's got to the top by themselves. Like
the other thing I've really, that phrase, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. And so if you don't hang around 5 people, you're the average like of what you watch probably. I don't want to be the average of Amazon Prime in my phone.
As we're kind of getting out there trying to create more opportunity, we had to open it up. And so we're out there.
Well, you have a lot of interesting insights. It's fascinating to talk to you. I'm sure other people are going to resonate with the content. So I appreciate you coming and sharing a little bit of your story with us. And maybe we can chat more again in the future.
Sounds good. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.